Just a, oh, thank you. Just a reminder, if you aren't receiving communications from your local TUG or any TUG that you're interested in participating, make sure that you go to sign up for their for the appropriate newsletter. That'll be on that user groups page. All you have to do is go to usergroups.tableau.com and you'll see the whole list. In addition, once you get past that page, obviously this is for Pittsburgh, you'll see all the individual events that you can RSVP to for current ones. Just some Tableau happenings before we jump into our sessions for today. Hopefully you've seen recently that Tableau conference is going to be in person plus virtual. Woohoo, finally in person. It will be limited. So if you're interested in going, start begging your employers now or figure out how to get that ticket. A couple other things. I know I usually mention the Data Book Club. So if you don't know what that is, Brandy Beals actually heads that up. She does post on both on LinkedIn and Twitter about it. It's essentially just data related books. They meet, I think, monthly. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who is a part of the book club. And they just walk through different books related to analytics and discuss the value of them. Two other initiatives that have come up recently are the Tableau Coders Initiative. This is led by Zach Geis. This is basically, as you can see, a bi-weekly series teaching you how to code from scratch with the Tableau APIs. In addition to that, Eric Bailash also started Back to Viz Basics. The website, this is underneath, it's like a Tableau student website. However, anybody can join this. And it really, if you're kind of like me and you haven't really gone through any formal Tableau training, it really takes you back to your roots. And their goal is to, either fill in those gaps or provide that structure for anybody that's new to Tableau and really wants to get started. Our agenda today, just gave you some announcements, and then we're going to walk through essentially our Salesforce and Tableau themed content for today. We'll end with some trivia and some meeting wrap-up information. So who are our speakers? First, we're going to talk about Tableau and Einstein Discovery. So Einstein is a Salesforce add-on. It provides a wide range of AI and ML capabilities. Amir is going to lead that. He is a principal solution engineer from Salesforce. He is on the strategic solution team, has over 10 years of experience in building and deploying advanced analytics models, and he has a degree from Penn State. Woohoo, I like that that's local. Next, we'll walk through Tableau CRM. PH data consultant Alex Carter has 4+ years in data and analytics. He's going to walk us through, an overview of Tableau CRM and the key features of the platform and some common questions that he's received. He uses tools like Tableau, Alteryx, and Python to address organizational challenges within his work. Outside of work, enjoys time with family and friends, playing golf, and cabin trips. And then finally, Phoenix's fearless leader, Michael Perillo, is going to walk us through the Tableau Lightning Web Component. He is a 7-time Tableau User Group Ambassador, has over 11 years using Tableau, is a certified desktop server, and also a partner of Tableau. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Hunter. I am a principal consultant with PH Data as well. And I'm also a Tableau User Group Ambassador, and I actually run the Pittsburgh TUG. So quick housekeeping, this was up at the beginning of the meeting. So everyone is muted, so please remain on mute. If you would like to offer a comment or you have a question, please feel free to use the chat section up here at the top, this little chat icon. Just as an FYI, the session is being recorded and it will be made available on Tableau's YouTube channel. In addition, the recording materials, I know for Pittsburgh, I'll be sharing those on our Google Drive as I do for every meeting. And Michael, if you want to add, I don't know if you guys keep your recording materials anywhere else or the deck.
Yeah, strictly kind of on the YouTube playlist. So we'll provide those links.
Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to let Amir take things over.
Okay, thank you very much, Jennifer. And hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. Let me share my screen and then we can start quickly. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
All looks good.
Okay, great. So within the next 30 minutes, we are going to discuss and learn about Einstein Discovery, which is part of Tableau Business Science umbrella. And this is a new capability of Tableau that coming from like integrating Tableau with a Salesforce platform. And the main goal here is put the power of data science into hands of business users. So as a business user with some domain expertise, you can take advantage of Einstein Discovery to turn your data into actionable insight by building machine learning model without necessarily having any like statistical, data science, or machine learning background and knowledge. My name is Amir Mehman. I'm Principal Solution Engineer as part of a strategic team of Tableau, and let's start. So before jumping into Einstein Discovery and Tableau Business Science, let's look at the full spectrum of AI and ML capability in the context of Tableau. So this picture basically articulates the range of AI and ML capability that makes sense in the context of Tableau. And the idea here is that each feature's goal is to help business user to make a better and faster decision. So it starts from like the first part, Augmented Analytic, and this is the part that is tailored and built for like BI analysts and explorer, who are mostly the traditional Tableau users. This user group are not necessarily looking to build any predictive or machine learning model, but they want to get more in-depth insight about their data and understand it better. So this is a place that user can take advantage of some of the Tableau capabilities, such as like ask data and explain data, to get more in-depth insight about their data. Then from there, we segue toward like Tableau Business Science. And this capability is built for the user group who has a particular business question in mind. They are like domain expertise, and they need to turn this knowledge into a machine learning model, but they do not necessarily have any like technical skill or resource or time to build this machine learning model. So the need here is a guided machine learning experience, a platform which enable user to build machine learning model with no code and only click. And this is the main part of this session. And then the next and the last group are professional data scientists. These are like the user group who have a very like deep technical skill, and they are able to build model by themselves. They are able to write code. So they don't need any modeling tool or platform, but they need support to deliver their model to the business user. And for this user group, we have like data science integration capability of Tableau, which enable user to integrate Tableau with external service such as like R, Python, and any other machine learning platform to bring their model. But as I said, the main focus of this session is Tableau Business Science and understanding how it enables business user to build machine learning model without any like statistical and data science knowledge. So let's talk about the value proposition and importance of this capability. So from the business perspective, if we look at the process of applying like machine learning and data science technique to solve any business problem, there is a huge distance from data to business users who are the ultimate decision maker. And obviously, when time is a critical factor, this distance can be problematic because it increases time to value. It takes a lot of time for data science team to build a model, deploy the model, and deliver it to the business user. So saying that, Tableau Business Science put the data science techniques and AI safely into the hand of business user and remove this distance. So it enables analysts to build a model in no time and then start getting insight from this model. So this is Tableau Business Science is one-stop machine learning solution for business user, and this also free up the time of like data science team, and they are able to spend their time in like more mission critical problem in the organization. And the Tableau Business Science, as I said, is a new category of AI powered analytic that significantly open up the data science capability, like building any like custom predictive model, simulation, scenario planning, clustering, and on-demand model to more people. And it has like three main feature or three main capability. It is simple and fast. It is a guided model building experience. You building model with only click and no code. So regardless of your technical background, you can turn your data into a machine learning model with only click and no code. It is trusted and transparent. Tableau Business Science built based off the foundation of ethical AI with real-time model monitoring. So when you're building a model with Tableau Business Science, Einstein Discovery at the back end monitor your data and monitor the behavior of your model to make sure that it is a bias protection. And also it is integrated. So you can build and deploy your model and then have access to this model through Tableau platform, Tableau Online, Tableau Desktop, and Tableau Server. So as a Tableau user, you have access to all of this capability. So the use case that we are going to discuss in this session is about employee attrition analysis and building a predictive model to understand the reason behind employee attrition. So let's look at the specific use case that we have here. So she's Linda, and Linda is a VP of Human Resource. And so her company recently experienced a very high attrition rate. Most of their employees start leaving the company. And her team, as a human resource team, need to understand the underlying reason why people are leaving their company. Because from the business perspective, employee turnover is a huge challenge for most of the organization. It not only increase the cost of recruiting and onboarding, but also it will prohibit organizations from increasing the collective knowledge and experience, which ultimately lead to lack of productivity. So her team ran a survey among the employee and gather a lot of data, which can potentially help them to get more insight. However, turning this data into intelligent model requires some data science expertise. And this sort of problem may not be the high priority for their data science team. So turning this data into actionable insight takes a lot of time. So in such a situation, Linda's team are in a need for an auto machine learning platform that can enable them to turn this data into machine learning model and get a better insight. So now let's see how Einstein Discovery and Tableau Business Science can help Linda's team to turn this data into actionable model. Now, let me jump into my Einstein Discovery environment. So this is my Salesforce account in which I have the data set, which is the result of customer survey. So this is a very a standard human resource data set in which we have the information from some of the employees. So each row represents the information of one individual. So it indicates which department this individual is working on: sales, human resource, research and development, or something else. What is the monthly income of this individual within the last 6 months? If this job required any overtime, or it does not require any overtime. What is the business travel requirement? Some of the job required no travel, some of them required travel frequently, and some of them travel rarely. And then we have some survey data, such as what is the job satisfaction, or what is the work-life balance from the employee perspective, and also how many years this individual is with the company. And then the very last column is basically the result of attrition. If this individual is still with the company, or he or she left the company within the last 6 months. So this is the data set that we have, and we want to turn this data set into machine learning model to not only build a predictive model, but also understand the underlying reason for the people who are leaving the company, which of these factors are more important, and come up with a proactive plan. What can we do as stakeholders to avoid having attrition rate? So as I said, building machine learning model with Einstein Discovery is very easy. So you don't need to have any coding or machine learning experience. So I can just quickly click on create a story, which is equal to building a model. And then what I need to specify for Einstein Discovery is what I want to predict and what is my business objective. So in this case, I obviously want to predict the attrition, if people leaving the company or not. And my business objective is minimizing minimizing attrition. Yes, like minimizing the number of people that are leaving the company, or equally maximizing attrition. No, like minimizing the number of people that are leaving the company. And then after that, click next, and then you have like two options. You can ask Einstein Discovery to run correlation analysis and only give you insight, like which factors impact like the attrition rate more, or you can ask Einstein Discovery to provide you insight and also building a predictive model. So you can apply this predictive model to your current employee and understand which of them are about to leave the company and which of them are not. So I'm going with insight and prediction. And the next step is, if you want to build this model manually and tell Einstein Discovery which of these factors are important or not, or you want Einstein Discovery automatically do the feature engineering for you, running the correlation analysis and build a model fully automated for you. And then by clicking on create a story, Einstein Discovery start building a model. I'm not going to click on create a story because building model is usually takes some time. So I can just jump into the final result. So I already built this model, and this is like the result of model that give me some insight. So in the left hand side, I can see like the overall picture, which of these features are more important for the attrition. So it seems that like overtime and monthly income and business travel are the top features that impact the attrition rate in my company at a very high level. And Einstein Discovery also give you some example for the situation for which the attrition rate, yes, is minimum, or the attrition rate, yes, is maximum. So it seems that when there is no like overtime requirement and there is no like travel requirement, there is less chance that people leave the company. On the other side, when the job required overtime and required like travel frequently, there is like more chance for the individual to leave company. So there are a lot of insight here, and you can look at each of these features individually. For example, we can look at the overtime and see that the chance of leaving for an individual when the job required overtime is like much more higher than the situation when the job does not require overtime. And then you can also see like the combination of two features together. So there are a lot of insight here to explore. In the next tab, you can also run some what if analysis, so you can get some prediction in the real time. So for example, if the individual required like overtime when the salary is quite at the medium, and the job, let's say, required rarely travel, job satisfaction is 3, work-life balance is 2, and year at the company is low, and let's say department of sales. So you can get like a real-time prediction. So for an individual with these like characteristics, there is a very good chance of leaving company, something close to 96%. So you can try different scenario here to get a real-time prediction. And ultimately, in the last tab, you can see the performance of your model in the term of like different statistical metrics. So Einstein Discovery went through like a different type of model and then select the best one based off this statistical metric. So for the binary classification, Einstein Discovery used like AUC number to select the best model. And if you want to get like more insight about the performance of your model, you can look at like some other statistical metrics. If you want, you can also tune this model by changing the threshold and then see the immediate impact on like different like statistical metrics. So if you have some statistical knowledge or you want to share this model with your data science team, they can tune this model if it is necessary. But most of the time, Einstein Discovery follows the best practice of data science, and it tuned the model based off the best practice for you. And last but not least, you can just examine some of the predictions. So based off the data set that you have, you can select one row, and then you can compare the result of prediction with actual. And also, more importantly, you can see like some top factors. Like for this individual, there is like 83% chance of leaving the company, and the primary factors are like the year at the company and the department this individual is working, and also the fact that this job does not require some overtime has some positive impact in the result. So long story short, Einstein Discovery built this model fully automated for you, turning your data into a predictive model fully automated. And more importantly, after building this model, you need to apply this model to your new data, to your current data. So to do that, you can just deploy this model with one click. By clicking on deploy model, Einstein Discovery deploy this model on the cloud, on the Salesforce cloud. And then on the other side of the gate, I can call this model in the real time from Tableau to get real-time prediction and real-time insight. So I already deployed this model, so I'm not going to redeploy it. And just let me jump into my Tableau dashboard to see how you can use this result in Tableau. So this is the attrition analytic dashboard that Linda's team built for the stakeholders. And this stakeholder can select the corresponding department. For example, let's say I'm head of like sales department, and I can narrow down to sales department, and I can quickly see the average attrition rate across like different branches in the state of California, the state of Texas, Florida, and New York. And it seems that for the state of Texas, I have like highest attrition rate, 54%. It does not mean that everyone in the state of Texas are about to leave the company, but at the average, it is quite high. By clicking on the state of Texas, I can see the distribution of attrition rate at the individual level. So in this chart, each of these dots is one of my salesperson in the state of Texas. Some of them are about to leave the company because the attrition rate is quite high. Some of them looks very satisfied with the situation that they have. So the attrition rate for this individual is not very high. So obviously, as a stakeholder and frontline manager, I'm interested to understand why this group of folks are about to leave company. And I want to come up with a proactive plan to avoid having attrition. So I can easily select this group of individuals for which the attrition rate is quite high. And then in this part, Einstein Discovery give me some more insight about like this individual group. Let me see if the dashboard extension work. Sorry for that. It's my dashboard crashed. Okay, let's see. Okay, sorry for that. Why the dashboard extension doesn't come up? Sorry. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, it's I have some technical issue here. Are
you trying to do the show hide, or?
Yes,
I think it's Alt. If you hold down the Alt and click, it's either Alt or Control. I forget which one.
Oh, okay, it's come up. Okay.
There you go.
All right, thank you. Sorry for that. So this is the dashboard extension that give me like a more insight about the underlying reason. So let's go through the process again. So I select the state of Texas and select the individual. Okay, so these are the group of individuals with high attrition rate. And by selecting this group, Einstein Discovery give me more insight. So first of all, for this group of individuals, there is like 96% attrition rate. It means that most of them are about to leave company. But more importantly, Einstein Discovery tell me why these people are about to leave the company. It seems that for majority of them, the job required travel frequently. They also require like overtime job. So these are like the two top factors that impact the behavior of this individual. And Einstein Discovery also give me some recommendation how I can change the job status of this individual to avoid attrition. So if I can change their business travel to non-travel, or change like the overtime to no, or increase their salary, these are like the top recommendation that can reduce the likelihood of leaving company. I can also try some of this scenario to see how some of this recommendation can impact the behavior of my employee. Let's say since majority of these people are salespeople, I cannot change their business travel, but I can change their workload to avoid having any like overtime. So I can change this parameter here and doing some what if analysis. And it seems that by making this change, the average likelihood of attrition for this group of individuals decreased from 96% to 61%. I can also give like all of them across the board 10% raise to see how does this impact the likelihood of attrition. So it seems that by giving them 10% raise and reducing their workload, then the chance of the likelihood of attrition decreased from like 96% to like 40%, which is a quite high improvement. So this is the sort of insight that the stakeholders and frontline manager can get by interacting with this predictive model in the real time. And there are two primary points here. The first thing is, as a business user, you do not need to have any like technical background. So you can just, as you observe, we can just turn our historical data into a fully machine learning model, build it and deploy it on the real time, and then put it into the hand of like decision maker. And decision maker can build their own on-demand report, on-demand dashboard in the real time, apply this model to the relevant data to their business, and not only get the prediction, but also get some more in-depth insights, such as like the top predictors and some recommendation to come up with a plan for their department or for their organization which can ultimately improve their business. So that was the end of Einstein Discovery session. I guess we are going to have like Q&A at the end. But yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, I think before we transition to Alex, if anyone has any questions for Amir, we can actually take a few of those questions now. I didn't see anything come through the chat, but feel free to type something in if you have. Otherwise, we can also take, in the chat, and we'll share contact information in case you want to reach out to them afterwards.
So Amir, I put in the chat a link to the, learn more about Einstein Discovery and the Trailhead. But if people want to get started,
yes,
playing around with Einstein Discovery, how can they?
Yeah, so you can go to like developer Salesforce and ask for like an analytic trial. So you can create an account for yourself. And then this is like the trial version of Einstein Discovery, for which you can just upload your data and build your predictive model. And you can use like the same model in your Tableau desktop, Tableau server, and Tableau online. I can paste this link into the chat so everyone have access to it.
Perfect. So we have a question from SJ in there. Can you elaborate on how you get the model connected from the Tableau CRM Einstein into Tableau, whether it's server or online?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for bringing your model into Tableau, there are like multiple way of bringing your model into Tableau. So one of the most easiest forward way is just using like a Tableau dashboard extension. So there's like Einstein Discovery extension, which can call your model from the cloud. So if I can just I can show you how I built like this one. So here I can just drag extension into my dashboard, And
Amir,
then,
I think you're
oh,
not sharing
oh,
yet.
sorry. Yeah, okay, let me reshare my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so as I said, dashboard extension, one of the most easy, straightforward ways. So if I drag like this extension into my dashboard, then I can select it doesn't come extension here. Okay, so Einstein Discovery is one of the extensions that you can find. And then by downloading it, it just asks you to log into your Salesforce org, and then you can select the model and then pass the data to dashboard and then get the result. So currently I already log into my Salesforce org. So it in this window, it will ask me to select the model. Like here, I can see the list of all model that I deployed on my account. So I select like attrition rate, and then I can select how I want to send the data. I'm going to send the data from like datasheet data. And then in the next step, it asks me to map each of my column to the feature. Some of them are automatically detect. For work-life balance, the spelling is a little bit different, so I can select that. I can select job satisfaction, and then here you can select if you want to see the top predictors or you want to see like the top improvement, and then by done, this dashboard extension will be embedded into your dashboard, and it dynamically send the data to your Einstein Discovery account and then return back the result.
Great. Another question that I see often, do you have to have a Salesforce instance to be able to use Einstein?
Yes, Salesforce. Yes, Salesforce account is required because like Salesforce account is basically the predictive model engine. So you need to have the Salesforce account to be able to build the model and deploy it.
Perfect. All right, if there's any other questions, go ahead and post those into the chat. Amir, I know you probably have to jump off shortly, but if you know, we do have any other questions, we'll funnel those over through email and get some response and share those with the group.
Yeah, sounds good.
The other question that we see quite a bit, the data that you're working with when creating your models in Discovery, does the data actually need to reside physically within Salesforce, or can you have data living outside?
The data that you are using to build your model need to be in your Salesforce account, to the data that you are using to train your model. But if you want to apply this model to the new data set, that new data set does not need to be in Salesforce necessarily. You can just connect to your data from Tableau and then apply the model to it directly. But for training your model, you need to have your data in Salesforce account.
Okay, so you'd have to ingest whatever data it would be to train it.
That's right.
That would obviously count against, I guess, your data storage. So you just need to make sure you account for that. Okay. All right, Jen, I think that's all the questions we have.
Awesome. So we will jump to Alex in Tableau CRM.
Hey, everyone. So I'm going to be talking about Tableau CRM, and here is the agenda for the presentation. So since Tableau CRM is an application built on top of Salesforce, I'm going to begin by just giving a brief overview of the Salesforce platform. I'll then go into the key features of Tableau CRM, and then answer some common questions. And then lastly, I will provide some resources for you to get started on your own Tableau CRM journey. So to begin, let's look at Salesforce. So for those that don't use Salesforce, what Salesforce is a customer relationship management platform that allows teams to, as the name suggests, manage relationships with your customers. So like an example of that would be sales teams using Salesforce to manage their opportunities, track how those opportunities are progressing through the pipeline, as well as monitoring individual sales performance against quotas, as well as sales performance against maybe department goals. As far as like how Salesforce works, how I like to think of it is as basically just a database with a user interface on the top. So here's what I mean by that. So these are 3 Salesforce objects that are standard objects that are found across every Salesforce instance. The contact, the account, and the opportunity object. And what an object is basically just a table within a database. And each of these objects contains fields of varying data types. And what you'll see with these 3 objects is that they're related to one another through a lookup relationship. So if you're looking at a specific account, you'll be able to see information about opportunities and contacts related to that account. So I will show you what that looks like within the user interface. So if we go to the account object, we can open up an account. And then here in the related tab, we can see the contacts aligned to that account, as well as the opportunities associated with that account. And then within details, we can see certain information within these fields that pertains to the specific account. So now that we have, a high level understanding of how Salesforce is used, let's talk about Tableau CRM. So what Tableau CRM is basically an end-to-end analytics solution built on top of Salesforce. And to access it, you click this hamburger icon and go to Analytics Studio. And this is the Tableau CRM homepage. And really within Tableau CRM, there are 3 key features. There's data management, there's data visualization, and then there's also data science, which Amir just went through. And that portion is called Einstein Discovery. I'm going to walk through each of these pretty briefly, but just give you an overview of the functionality of the platform. So let's begin with data management. So if I go down here and open Data Manager, this will open up the Data Manager console, and you can see how the data management sub-features are broken up here on the left. So looking at Connect first, this is where you connect to your data sources. So you can connect to all your Salesforce data here using this SDFC local connector. So this is where you would connect all your individual objects within Salesforce. However, you can also connect to external data and bring that data into Tableau CRM. To do that, you would click this Connect to Data button and add new connection. And here's where you'd configure that connection. And so as we scroll through this list, you'll see that you have the ability to connect to a lot of different data warehouses, databases, external applications, and bring that data into Tableau CRM. Once you make the connection, it shows up here in the Connect tab. So you'll see I've built some connections to Snowflake, BigQuery, and brought that data within Data Manager. Once you've made the connection, you can then refresh your data by scheduling a data sync. And then it will refresh on a certain cadence of your choosing. So if we go up here next, we'll look at the data preparation tools within Tableau CRM's Data Manager. So there are data flows and recipes. These are very similar to Tableau Prep, and recipes are the more common data prep tool. So that's what I will just show you quickly. So if we open up a simple recipe that I created, you'll see what the interface looks like. It's all drag and drop, no code. And basically what you do is just connect to all your data sources that you've already connected here. So as you'll see, I've connected to the opportunity and the account object. I've then joined these data sources using a common field. I've then applied a filter node. Here I'm just only keeping closed opportunities, and then I'm outputting the data set. Just looking here, you can see some of the other nodes that you can use within recipes. So you can transform your data. So this is where you would write expressions. You can aggregate your data. You can also apply predictions to your data. So as Amir mentioned before, if you had like an HR attrition recipe being built here, you could run that model within your recipe. And then you can output the predictions to a data set. And then basically the end result of all your recipes is the creation of a data set. So all recipes end with an output node, and the output node either writes data to a data set or directly into your Salesforce instance. So in this recipe, I output my data directly to a data set because data sets are the foundation of your data visualizations that you'll build within Tableau CRM. And they're also the foundation of the predictive models that you can build using Einstein Discovery. Lastly, there is the monitor tab, and this is just where you track all your jobs. So you can see whether or not your recipes or your data syncs were successful, and you can debug if there were any errors. So that concludes data management. Just to summarize, you can, using Data Manager, you can connect to your Salesforce data, but you can also connect to external data like data warehouses, databases, external applications. You can then combine, prepare, transform that data, and prepare it for analysis using recipes or data flows. And then you can monitor the status of all your jobs and output your data sets to be used for visualizations or predictive models. So now let's take a look at data visualization within Tableau CRM. So I'm going to create a new dashboard. And you'll see that you can either create one from scratch or you can use a template. So I chose a template, and I'm just going to select this details dashboard template. We'll name this Tug. And then you select an app to store it in. I'll just store it in this random app. What an app is in Tableau CRM is essentially just a folder that stores all of your data sets and dashboards and your stories. So basically all your Tableau CRM creations are stored within an app. What this will give me is basically the shell of a dashboard. So it comes formatted already, which is super nice. And then it's up to you to just populate this dashboard with info, and you can customize it however you'd like. So if I want to populate this chart with data, I click chart, and then I choose the data set that I want to query to create a visual from. So I'm going to choose opportunity data set. And let's say I just want to build a super basic visualization that shows me the count of all of our closed won opportunities by industry. So I'm going to filter our opportunities where the value 1 is equal to true. And then I'm going to go over here and click chart. I'm going to choose a line chart. And then on the x-axis, I will pick industry. So now we can see all of our closed won opportunities by industry. And then we'll just sort this. And we have a visual. From here, if you don't want to use a line chart, you can adjust. So maybe I want to see it as a bar chart or a column chart. You can make those adjustments here and then click done. and your visualization is now in a dashboard. So this is how you build dashboards within Tableau CRM. This one was super basic, but you can get a lot more complex with it. And you can also build dashboards from multiple data sets, and then you can connect them through common fields and have filters that will adjust all your data sets accordingly. Another cool thing you can do within Tableau CRM as it relates to visualizations is create apps from templates. I'm not going to go through the process of building one right now, but there are tons of really cool templates based on what you're looking to build. So there's stuff for sales teams, service teams, there's commerce templates. And basically what you do is, if I wanted to build this sales analytics template, I would choose it, and then I would go through a configuration wizard where I could then choose certain fields that I want to analyze. Tableau CRM would then build data sets for me, as well as visualizations for me based on how I configured the app. And then it would all get stored within a sales analytics app. And then the last thing that I want to show as it relates to visualizations is embedding visualizations. So as some of you may have seen on the homepage, I have this visual which shows, this is visualizing results from a predictive model that I built, and I embedded it on the homepage. So that's another really awesome thing you can do with Tableau CRM visualizations, is you can embed them throughout your Salesforce instance. And since Tableau CRM is built on top of Salesforce, all of the security and permissions that you have set up within Salesforce apply to Tableau CRM as well. And it's really easy just to embed these. If you click Edit Page, there is a Tableau CRM dashboard component over here. And all you have to do is drag and drop this onto the page where you want to embed the dashboard. And then it'll be there. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was Einstein Discovery, which is the data science piece. And that's what Amir walked through already. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But basically, one thing that I'd done in the past was I created a win likelihood model, which takes in data from different fields within our opportunity and our account object, and then it predicts the likelihood that the sales team is going to win a specific opportunity. Just pay no attention to the statistical significance of these fields, just because I'm using a test Salesforce instance with just fake data, and obviously this model is not great. But basically what the model does is it reads in the values from these fields on the opportunity and account object, and then it predicts a probability score showing the likelihood that we're going to win an opportunity. As Amir showed before, you can then review model performance. You can change the type of model you're using, but then you can deploy it. What I want to show that's different from what Amir showed is that he deployed the model within Tableau. You can also deploy the models directly within Salesforce, which is what I did on the opportunity object. So when you create a new opportunity or look at existing opportunities, there will now be a prediction showing how likely it is that the opportunity will be won. So over here, you'll see the prediction. And so in this case, this specific opportunity has a 79.52% chance of being won. And then there's some, Einstein will give you reasons why that prediction was chosen. And basically, it's just taking values from the opportunity fields as well as fields from the specific account. What's really cool about this is that this applies, predictions will, here, so if we create a new opportunity, call this like test 3, just fill out some random information here. But when you create a new opportunity, Einstein will automatically give you a prediction for this newly created opportunity. So you'll see the one I just created as a 77% chance win likelihood. And this kind of ties back to the visual I created, and which is one of like the main use cases of why Tableau CRM and Einstein Discovery are so cool, is that they can help, you know, reduce time to insight, improve efficiency, and just make your organization more data-driven in general. So in this example, this could help sales reps. Maybe you want to look at the prediction for opportunities with this specific stage. You could then build a visual around the predictions, and then you could prioritize your workload based on, you know, which opportunities are most likely to close. Then you could, okay, like this opportunity is most likely to close, then you can directly go to this opportunity and try to close it from there. So it just makes your data actionable without having to leave Salesforce. So that concludes the demos that I wanted to show of Tableau CRM. Next, I just wanted to answer some common questions about Tableau CRM. The first two kind of go hand in hand. The first is, what's the difference between Tableau CRM and Tableau? And then the second is, how do I choose between Tableau and Tableau CRM? These are definitely related questions, and hopefully to the people on the call that are users of Tableau, hopefully you've seen some of the similarities and differences between Tableau and Tableau CRM as I walked through. However, some of the main differences I've experienced when working with both tools is just that Tableau serves much more broad use cases than Tableau CRM. And there's a bit more flexibility when it comes to the visualizations you can create, as well as the data sources you can connect to. But Tableau CRM, I mean, the main use case for it is that you can deliver analytics to your Salesforce users without them having to navigate outside of Salesforce to find insights. So it delivers, you know, actionable insights to your users directly within their work environment. And that ties to the second question of how to choose between Tableau and Tableau CRM. It kind of depends on the use case and like who you're building a data product for. So if you're building something for, you know, Salesforce users, Tableau CRM is going to be a great tool for that. Because, you know, you can connect directly to your Salesforce data. You can also bring in data from outside Salesforce. And then the end product can be embedded directly within Salesforce and shared with your Salesforce users. However, if you're building something for users that maybe some use Salesforce, some don't, or, you know, maybe no one that you're building a product for uses Salesforce, Tableau is likely the best solution for that. Another question is that I get asked often, is Tableau CRM free? Unfortunately, it is not. It requires additional licenses, which you can see here. So there are 3 different licenses. I'm gonna just ignore this revenue intelligence one, but there's an Einstein prediction license, which gives you access to the data science capabilities that Amir walked through and that I also briefly alluded to. Then there's Tableau CRM Growth License, and that gives you access to the data management and data visualization features. And then Tableau CRM Plus gives you access to everything. So you've got the end-to-end data management, data visualization, and data science. Lastly, if you're interested in, you know, experimenting with Tableau CRM, I can share this link in the chat, but you can sign up for your own Tableau CRM enabled developer edition of Salesforce. And this is what I used for the demo. And it just is a Salesforce org that comes with dummy data, but you have access to Tableau CRM, so you can experiment with it. You can build visualizations, data sets, and predictive models, and you can deploy it throughout your developer edition. So yeah, that concludes the Tableau CRM presentation. Are there any questions?
Did several questions come through, so I'm just going to start at the top. The first two are related, Alex. The questions were, is Snowflake a supported external data source? And can you export data from Tableau CRM to Snowflake?
Yes, you can. Here, sorry, I stopped sharing my screen, but let me get back to it. Good question. Yeah, I only talked about bringing data in the Tableau CRM's data manager, but you can also send data from Tableau CRM to external sources. And how you do that is connect. So you'll see their output connections. So I've also created a test output connection to Snowflake, but you can also send data to AWS and Tableau Online. And the way to do this is you would build a recipe that contains the data that you want to export. And then in that output node within the recipe, that's where you would choose to send your data to an output connector. So if I build a data set that contains opportunity plus account data, you can then have the output node send that directly into a Snowflake schema.
Awesome. Thanks, David and Tim, for those questions. The next one is, can you output the data from a data flow for use in a custom Salesforce object?
Yes. Let's see if I've got.
And maybe for those unfamiliar with Salesforce, what is a custom Salesforce object?
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, so yeah, as I kind of walked through just like the data model of Salesforce before, I talked about contact, account, opportunity. Those are standard Salesforce objects. So those come with Salesforce. So like every Salesforce instance comes with those objects. However, what makes Salesforce so awesome is that it's super customizable. So you can build your own objects with their own fields, and you can relate these objects to other standard objects or other custom objects through relationships. So really a custom object is just an object that you build yourself. One sec, I'm seeing if I have an example of outputting to a custom. I don't have an example of outputting to a custom object, but this is a recipe where the output node is just, I'm reading in a, oh God. All right. Basically what I was doing there was reading in some information that I uploaded from a CSV that I wanted to update the account object with. And then I basically joined using a primary key and then updated the account. But you can also update the custom object using a recipe.
Awesome. Similarly related to connectors, then what is the recommended approach to connect to an external data or to external data that is not supported through a connector?
That kind of gets into the area where determining, if Tableau CRM is the correct solution for what you're trying to do. You can upload CSVs through like an API into Data Manager. But if you're going to want to, connect to maybe like a database or warehouse that's not configured and you're going to want to refresh your data consistently, you might need to look into other options to get that data into Tableau CRM if that's the tool of your choosing. Like an example, just in the past, one thing I've done is I used Alteryx to connect to some data that I couldn't access through Data Manager, which is just a data processing tool. And they have an output node that allows you to write data sets directly into Tableau CRM. So that was kind of one workaround I've used in the past. But you can upload like CSV files too.
Cool. This one's related to Einstein. It says, can you choose what fields you use in your model, or does Einstein choose for you?
Yeah, you can, when you're setting it up, you can either choose to configure it yourself. So that would be you choosing the fields, or you can have Einstein basically guess for you, and then Einstein would choose fields for you, and then you could also adjust those fields. So either or.
Cool. I'm going to keep going since we're still good on time. The next one says, I found the recommended actions from Einstein predictions are often unhelpful. Things like change industry to something else. Says clearly we cannot change the industry of a targeted customer. Have you run into this? If so, how have you addressed that with your sales team or in the model?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of something, I don't know if Amir has anything he wants to add to that, but yeah, basically like when you're in the process of deploying your model, like there's a step in the deployment process where you select those fields, and basically you want to make sure to only select the fields that you have control over, that you actually can change. Otherwise, the improvements won't really make sense.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, when you're deploying your model, you need to specify which of your variable is actionable. So basically, it is some input from the business user that which input variable you can change. Like in the human resource example, like you cannot change the department of someone, or you cannot change like the location of someone, but you can change their salary. So you can select salary as the actionable variable, and then the recommendation would be only based off the actionable one.
Awesome, that makes sense. Last but not least, one more question. Says also, when building a predictive model using an external data source, is the source data hosted in Salesforce, or is it kept in the external data source? Great question. So either Alex or Amir can answer this one.
Sorry, I'm just reading it right now.
Okay.
When building predictive model using external data source. I mean, that data would be brought into Salesforce in order to build the model. It's kept, I mean, okay, so the data is kept in the external data source, but in order to build a model using external data, you would need to bring it in through Data Manager, through a connector. So it would be then hosted within Salesforce.
All right, thank you, Alex. And I don't see any more questions coming through the chat. So last but not least, Michael, I'd say you're up.
All right. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. All right. Are we seeing my screen okay?
Yep, looks good.
All right. So we've had already two fantastic presentations around the Salesforce products, Einstein Discovery and Tableau CRM. The Einstein Discovery is really more focused on the Salesforce platform and what you can do there. You can pull in data through the Einstein Discovery through an extension in Tableau. We saw that demo today. In the Tableau CRM, again, we more focused on kind of the Salesforce platform in itself. This is where if you're brand new to Salesforce and Tableau, you get really confused about the products and the names. You know, is this a Tableau product? You know, why is it in Salesforce? Or if it's in Salesforce, you know, how is it in Tableau? It's confusing. It is. But what we're going to talk about now is kind of the inverse. We're going to talk about, well, what if we want to start embedding visualizations directly into Salesforce? How do we do that? So we're going to talk about this new, I guess, product feature called the Lightning Web Component. So it's been out a little while. This allows you to embed your Tableau dashboards directly into Salesforce with ease. And I do want to stress that. Before we kind of get into it, everything that we saw today, you can actually do on your own. Put in the links in the chat. You know, how do you get signed up for, you know, a free instance? Go to the Trailhead. I want to learn about things. Sign up for a free developer edition of Salesforce. This is a fully functional platform that you can use personally or for your work. Go in, play with it. Doesn't cost anything. You just can't use it for production purposes. But a lot of the features and capabilities that we saw today will be kind of baked into this. So you sign up, developer.salesforce.com. Sign up. There's, again, from Alex and Amir, a bunch of other links. You can do that too. The second one I want to stress is Tableau. So sure, you can go out, use Tableau Public. That's free if you're brand new to Tableau. Yes, free edition of Tableau. There are some limitations, but you can always go out to public.tableau.com, sign up, use Tableau, all bells and whistles, learn the product, do some great things. But once you start getting into the enterprise environments, you know, you want to be able to do some things, you know, do your own data, connect to some things that aren't flat files, maybe do some development, automation, things like, how do you do that? We'll go to developer.tableau.com and you can sign up for a free personal development sandbox of Tableau Online. So this will give you the access to kind of be this site administrator. It's one user, so don't expect to use this necessarily for production stuff, but it allows you to have a playground that you can do everything that we saw today, integrate the platforms and applications with Salesforce, with Tableau. We talked about Snowflake, a lot of capabilities there, Alteryx, all of that stuff. But these are free. These are there for you to use. You can learn them. And really for what we kind of jump into next with the component, the Lightning Web Component, it would be great for you to have your own Salesforce org and your own Tableau online environment so you can start tinkering with this and upskill or just get used to it. All right, so what is the Lightning Web Component? Again, it's really kind of a plug and play plugin that allows you to access your Tableau visualizations from either Tableau Online, Tableau Public, Tableau Server, and embed those directly into Salesforce pages. One of the things that we will not cover today is extensively going over, well, what if I need to do single sign-on authentication or additional row-level security or things like that? You can definitely do that. There's a lot of capabilities in that. The links that I provide here on the deck, we'll also provide them in the chat. That'll walk you through step by step. Again, this is not rocket science. You know, it is pretty straightforward to do. For those of you that are not using Lightning in your environment, we'll talk about that at the end. So if you're using a classic instance of Salesforce, apologize. You're kind of missing out on a lot of things, I understand, but there is still hope for you in getting your Tableau visualizations into the classic environment, and we'll cover that towards the end here. So how do I get this Lightning Web Component? First and foremost, pretty easy. You'll head out to the Salesforce App Exchange. Now, again, you will need to log in using the same credentials that you log in into your Salesforce instance. if you do end up signing up for this Salesforce Developer Edition, use that same login. This way they're tied together. The App Exchange knows who you are, knows your instance or instances within your platform. We'll provide the links. Everything is all, again, very well documented. This is like an app store. This allows you to add either free or paid applications, widgets into Salesforce and do some amazing things. The one, again, we're focusing on today is the Tableau Lightning Web Component. In the screenshot here, we see that we're navigated onto the Salesforce App Exchange. I did sign in using our Phoenix Tug credentials, so we have our little logo there. The next thing I would do would be to click on this, install this Viz Lightning Web Component, clicking on the green button, get it now. Pretty easy. Once you do that, a dialog box is going to come up, and it's going to ask you where you want to install this. Now, if you're using your Enterprise Edition Salesforce, you've got a couple options. You can install in your production environment, or if you do have a Sandbox and you're actively using that, you can install it there. Highly recommend that you install it first in your Sandbox. You want to make sure things are working. You understand kind of the ins and outs, nuances. But if you are using a developer or a free edition that we just provided the link for, you sign up for, you would use the install into production. So you would click that button. Another dialog box would come up just confirming, hey, this is the package that you're looking to install. It's the Lightning Viz or Tableau Viz Lightning Web Component. Gives you some information about that, who you are, email address, and so on and so forth. Just make sure you check the box in the middle that's highlighted, that you've read the terms and conditions. If you want to read them, great. It's very entertaining. So you'll get a lot out of that, I'm sure. Click confirm and install. And again, you're going to get another pop-up. So at this point, you think, hey, I'm done, that's it. We're getting closer, but not quite. It will ask you, how do you want to install the Viz Lightning Web Component? In this case, again, if you're doing this in a Sandbox environment, feel free to go ahead and do it for all users. If you want only certain individuals or admins only to be able to drag this, I guess, web capability onto a page, you can specify who those people are. In this case, I'm just using the default. Again, my Salesforce org is just for me, my team, so we're good to go. You would get this installing, granting access to all users dialog, and when it's all said and done, you get this confirmation. Installation's complete. You get information about how to actually embed the Tableau views into Salesforce. So it's just a little how-to wiki, pretty simple. And you'll get a confirmation. Here's your installed packages. All right, so let's navigate now over to Salesforce and kind of look and see what this is. So looking at the Tableau Viz Lightning Web Component, I am on the App Exchange. I am logged in here somewhere. Too much. So we see my little icon. My avatar says, hey, you're logged in, great. I would click get it now. And that would go through that whole process. Now, if I go into my avatar and I click on my installs and subscriptions, I can see that I've already done this. I've pre-installed the Tableau Lightning or Viz Lightning Web Component. It's free, installed basically this morning. So we're good to go. Now, how do I actually do this? So what you'll want to do is you'll want to pretty much go to any page. I'm just going to pick one. So I'm going to go to my Sales Console. And I'm just going to throw in a visualization here. And the way to do that, you would click on your gear icon. Let me move this out of the way. And go out to Edit Page. once this loads, you're going to get the ability to have your modified page. If you scroll down on the sidebar where all your components are listed, you scroll to the very bottom. This is where your custom apps, installations, things like that would be listed. I've only got the one right now, the Tableau visualization. I'm going to click on this, hold the mouse, and I'm going to actually drag this over, and I'm going to place it above the quarterly performance view. And as soon as I do that, it's going to default to a predefined Tableau Public workbook. This is where I can go ahead and change it to Tableau Online, Tableau Server, Tableau Public, whatever it might be. Again, make sure you kind of take into consideration for authentication, authorization into this fact. So if your Tableau Server is using a different set of authentication, single sign-on, Active Directory, or whatever, aside from what you use in Salesforce, you're probably going to be presented with that authentication sign-in box. If you are using like Salesforce authentication or some other single sign-on where both Tableau and Salesforce are the same, you'd be able to configure that, again, through the documentation. It's got pretty amazing instructions that are easy to follow and for you to do. Again, not very difficult. This may require you to work with Salesforce or Tableau server admin, site admin to ensure that you're using the proper authentication credentials. But for the sake of this demo, this is it. This is plug and play, and that's how as easy as it gets. There's a few other things that you can do. You can kind of modify the height on this, not necessarily width or anything. You can show tabs if tabs exist. You can show the toolbar. If you want the toolbar right now, would show at the bottom. Can't necessarily place that at the top or anything. And if there was any other set of filters that you wanted to add, you could definitely do that. This is how easy this is. Again, not very hard or difficult. So we kind of went through that process. Now, if you are using Salesforce Classic and you're not yet fully migrated or using the Lightning components, you can use this older method. And I'm going to be honest, this was when it first came out. It has gotten a little bit better, but this is probably a little bit more painful. It will require you to stand up kind of a black box instance for you to run a web server, Apache web server, do some installations, configurations. Everything is listed right here on the website. It is well documented, but again, this is not a click, install, you're done within 2 minutes type of thing. This could possibly take you a little while, maybe jump through some hoops with your IT department and things like that. But the point is, it can be done. This was Tableau and Salesforce's very first iteration. I forget, back in 2015, 14, who knows. And it does work. It's not clean, it's not fun. So if you're thinking about moving or migrating over to Lightning, I suggest doing that. That alone is well worth it. Otherwise, it can be done. And here's the information on how to do that. All right. Do we have, I guess, any questions? If not,
I didn't see any questions come through the chat, no.
Cool. So again, very straightforward, easy. I think out of everything we saw today, this was by far the easiest and most painless thing that you could do. Again, it's if you want to stand up your own free instance of Salesforce and Tableau, you can do that. Start playing with all these things today, including the Viz Lightning Web component. So, all right, let's kind of get into the trivia. So I'm gonna just quickly copy this information over, and we'll throw this in the chat. So this type of the time of the session, what we do is we do some Tableau trivia. We run through some questions, kind of get to know you. I know we've been chatting back and forth at the very early on, but we'll kind of want to understand who you are, what you're interested in, what kind of products. And then after we kind of go through that motion, we'll go ahead and jump into some actual trivia. You know, were you paying attention today? Did you learn anything? So the top 3 winners from today will get you some Tableau swag. So let me go ahead and jump over to this, and hopefully we get some people. Looks like we got some people in there. So the way to do this, you can do this from a desktop, from a mobile device. You can go to menti.com, type in the code 5022731, or if you use the link that I put into the chat, hopefully that will just pop right up. And we'll give this maybe a minute or two to get people logged in. And again, if there's any questions, comments, feedback, go ahead and put those into the chat as well.
And I did throw into the chat, Michael, if anyone that's willing to turn their camera on, if we would snap a gallery picture before we all leave for the day, that would be awesome.
Yeah, why don't we can do that now if you want.
We could do that now while people are jumping in, yeah.
There we go. So if you were able to, go ahead and show your camera. Jen will, I guess, do a countdown. We'll take a screenshot of all the happy people across the US and the globe. So we've got some people overseas too. So fantastic. Thanks for joining us all. Act
Michael,
happy,
I think you'll have to stop
like
sharing for a second to get more of a gallery view.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
There we go. There's all the people. All right. All right. So we'll
Bear with me, I'm trying to do
give this
it.
another maybe 30 seconds to get people on the camera, and we'll take a happy pose screenshot.
Michael, do you know how to make it bigger? I can only see like a page of everybody.
I know we have a rollover, huh?
Yeah.
I don't.
Hold on, I can grab them all.
Hey, Chen, I guess you could click on view on the top right of your screen and then change it to gallery.
It's on gallery.
It's on gallery, but I think we have so many people.
Yeah, we have 3 pages of the gallery view, which is awesome. Thank you everybody for joining. So I will just take all 3. So give me 1 second and smile pretty.
There we go. All these happy people.
All right.
How we doing, Jen? I don't know if I can hold my smile anymore. All good?
Yep, all good.
All right. All right, thanks everyone, appreciate that. So again, we've got Tableau Trivia now. If you haven't joined, go ahead and do that. Again, you can go out to menti.com on your phone or desktop, type in the code 5022731. And we had a question, so is this a weekly meeting? So every user group is different. Phoenix, we do meet monthly, 3rd Thursday of every month. Jen, you guys are meeting what, quarterly?
Yeah, I have 2 slides to show after the trivia real quick, but ideally we're slating our next meeting for May.
Perfect.
We usually do quarterly.
Okay. Yeah, but the best thing to do, everything for the most part is virtual. So there are some tugs that are doing hybrid events, but go out there and sign up for everyone. There's industry specific user groups as well. So if you're in healthcare, finance, or something else, there's a tug out there also for you. But yeah, if we don't get to say it before, we end, we appreciate you joining us. We know that there's quite a few going on today. So, all right, we're going to get started. Again, you can still join anytime. Again, menti.com 5022731. All right. So if you can go ahead and type in what city, state, or country you're joining us from today. Why we do this is it's a nice way just to kind of visually see everything all at once here. All right. Perfect. Just got people all over. So again, thanks for joining us wherever you're at. Let's do the next question. So is this your first time at a Tableau user group? All right, so we've got some that have attended some, a couple that are regular attendees. For those of you that are your first time joining, again, thank you. Appreciate you taking time out of the day to connect with us. Again, there's hundreds of user groups out there, so we will also paste in into the chat our virtual playlist. So on YouTube, all these meeting recordings are accessible. So hit those up. Got user groups all over the globe doing some amazing things. So if you're looking for specific topics or conversations, I'm sure you're going to find something out there. All right, so how long have, and I'm making an assumption here, using Tableau? I know we probably should have included Salesforce in this question as well now, thinking about it. All right. Good group of people. Again, for those of you that are brand new, just kind of a promotion for Phoenix. We do quarterly workshops. So if you are kind of looking to learn Tableau from the ground up, feel free to join us. Sign up for our notifications on our user group page. We will be having the next one in April. And again, Tableau Public, if you are learning Tableau, that's probably one of the best ways to learn, absolutely free. All right, next one. Anyone have any Tableau certifications? And again, I'm going to have to start updating this. We've got some new Tableau certifications that have come out and other ones that are being deprecated. So, all right, so we got a couple people. For those of you that aren't certified, if you are looking to learn Tableau, still highly recommend you going down that certification process. The certification process will actually give you study guides and kind of a regiment on what you should know and learn. So use it as a guide. And if you want to certify, great. If not, no worries. And for those of you that are certified, congratulations. All right, so next, which Salesforce products interest you most? So ask this question to kind of gauge interest in what types of topics, features, capabilities you might be interested in for future Tableau user groups. And I know that you might have some maybe multiple selections, but by and far, mostly, what would you like to see? All right, so Tableau Desktop, we've got quite a few of both Tableau and Salesforce. Again, Tableau is a Salesforce company, along with Slack, MuleSoft, Datorama, and hundreds of others, just buying everything up. So the more that we see the integrations capabilities, more opportunities we have, like we saw today with Tableau CRM, Einstein Discovery, to kind of do some collaborations there. Good. All right. So I think this would help understanding which kind of customer type are you. You kind of fit in that Tableau only, Salesforce only, both Tableau and Salesforce, or neither. And if you're neither, again, thanks for joining us today. We hope that you kind of enjoyed the presentations, saw a little bit about what the Salesforce platform can do, both on Salesforce, Tableau CRM, Einstein, and Tableau, whether it's Tableau Online, Tableau Server, Tableau Public. Great. Okay. All right, so let's start. Now, the way that this works is you're going to be presented with some questions about things that were discussed today. If you were paying attention, a lot of these things should be pretty straightforward. Some of them might not be as easy as they seem. The other tip, these are timed. So the faster that you can respond, the more points you accumulate. At the end of this, the top 3 winners will collect your information. We'll put in the chat a way for you to connect with us. Again, the top 3 winners. We'll need your mailing address so we can mail you out some swag. All right, let's get started. All right, so we got a lot of people. Again, if you're just joining, we'll spend another 30 seconds and wait. Menti.com, use the code, join. Got 29 people right now, and we'll go ahead and start in 15 seconds. All right. Got 30, so let's start. Where can you learn new Salesforce skills? Got Trailhead, Salesforce Academy, Trailblaze, or the Salesforce University. Absolutely, Trailhead. So in the chat today, we provided some links out to Trailhead. Trailhead's a free platform that you can sign up with your Salesforce account or personal account, whatever you want to do, but tons and tons of free information about learning anything and everything about the Salesforce platform, data, analytics, data modeling, and AI, ML, so much more. So if Salesforce is your thing and the platforms within it, Tableau, head out to Trailhead, sign up, and start earning some badges. All right, next question. This product empowers your Salesforce CRM users with actionable insights and AI-driven analytics right in the workflow. Which product was that we saw today? Tableau CRM, absolutely. So Alex showcased a lot of the workflows and how that was done. So yeah, a little bit different than the Einstein Discovery, could be confusing. This is again where kind of the names and functionality, some crossover, not entirely, but Tableau CRM, good job. All right, question 3. This product delivers predictions, recommendations within Tableau workflows for smarter decision making. I think you probably used deduction from the last question. There we go. All right, yes, absolutely, Einstein Discovery. Okay, next question. Remember, answering faster gets you more points. What is the cost of a Salesforce Developer Edition instance? Absolutely free. Yes, we put in that link. Shared that out with you. So if you go out to developer.salesforce.com, This is your free personal instance of Salesforce, no cost, nothing. It's not 9,900, 300. It is free for as long as you want to use it. All right, question 5. Which is not a Salesforce product? So we've got Workday, Tableau, MuleSoft, and Slack. Absolutely, Workday. So Tableau is a Salesforce product. MuleSoft was acquired quite a while ago, and Slack just recently, fully integrated within Tableau today. So I know we didn't get a chance to kind of look at Slack, but if you're using Slack in your workplace, just know that Tableau and Slack do have integration points now where you can actually communicate, get notifications, alerts through Slack. Using Ask Data, you can use Slack to ask questions about Tableau. In that, pretty amazing integration so far.
Looks like everyone's been paying attention to the news, Michael.
I guess so. Last question. All right. Again, faster you answer, more points you accumulate. Top 3 will get some Tableau swag. Where can you download the Tableau Salesforce Accelerators? So we had a question today about Einstein Discovery. How do you get that incorporated? Where can you find that? All right, it is the Tableau Exchange. Tableau Exchange is kind of the rebranded gallery, extension gallery. It's a little bit more vast, if you will. So it's part of kind of this Tableau economy where you've got accelerators, connectors, extensions. This is the marketplace. So it is not called the marketplace. It is not called the App Store. It is the Tableau Exchange. So if you go to exchange.tableau.com, you will find actually the Einstein Discovery extension, and you can take a look at that. It is free. You can bake that in. And as we saw today, Alex, Amir, they all shared links to where you can sign up for the trailheads and the demos and the orgs that contain all of these features, again, at no cost. So everything that you saw today, you can start playing with. You don't need to have your IT organization provision you or anything. You can go home tonight and start playing with everything. All right, so let's see who our winners are. All right. Congratulations to Stephen S., Steve, DC. So the 3 of you, please send an email to info@phoenixtug.com. Provide your mailing address, and we'll get you some Tableau swag. We'll also